Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me, your host, Tommy Gilberts, as we sit down and take a behind-the-scenes look into Titan athletics with weekly interviews with coaches and athletes. This is Titan Table Talk. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ames Library podcast studio. It is week 14 of Titan Table Talk, the final week of the first semester. We will return after winter break, the week of January 15th. And we've got a basketball-heavy show for all of you today. A couple of very successful weeks for both the men's and women's Titans. We're joined first by Ron Rose and senior co-captain Luke Yoder. Gentlemen, welcome. Congrats on a great week.
Well, thanks, Tommy. Looking very festive there.
You know, I had to wear this stuff. This had to is a stretch. I wore it this morning. We were taking our team photo for our Christmas card to send to recruits and alums and all that. And decided I might as well just keep it on.
I love it. I wish you had told us. I would have liked to seen Luke in one of those.
As I told you guys before we went on, I did not really want to walk all the way down the stairs out to my car, but I've got 2 more bags of props out there that you could have been wearing. As we established last time, Luke, the time we left the podcast last week, that was the first time Ron had ever walked down the stairs here at Ames.
Not any stairs, but these particular ones, yes.
Thank you for clarifying you made it this far in your life without walking down
Not
any
that lazy.
stairs.
There you go.
We much appreciate that. But rewinding back to Wednesday, a tight and contentious battle, oftentimes against one of the preseason CCIW co-favorites, North Park, ended in a 70-56 victory. Domination of the Vikings on the boards, in particular, 50-27, and the usual, frequently at times suffocating defense that we've seen from the Titans throughout the fall so far. Any takeaways from that game specifically?
It was a great win for us. You win the boards by 23, you're going to put yourself in a pretty good spot. Thought we handled their pressure really well. That's what they're really known for. A big part of that, obviously, having a guy like Luke Yoder on your team, you don't worry about the pressure like a lot of teams do. But we started. Is it fair to say horrifically?
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes, we did not play very well. A lot of we call it self-inflicted wounds. A lot of mistakes but I was really happy with our group, how we came together, rallied, and then really put on a good, second half especially.
Yeah, I agree. I think our defense has just been our main factor in all of our games. It's super consistent. It's I think one of the best in the CCIW, and that's what's going to win us our games. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we certainly saw some of that on Saturday as well. But as you said, got off to a 10-point deficit against the Vikings, but then right away, boom, 18-5 run towards the end of the first half. Luke, 9 points, 8 rebounds in that one. Nick Roper, the leading scorer with 15, 12 and 6 for Ryan Soroka. And then Marco Anderson, who has been a real boost on the boards in particular, 9 rebounds in just 16 minutes.
Yeah, Marco gives you a yeoman's type effort every night out. You just kind of expect him. Kind of what he does, the game against North Central, you look at it, he's 4 for 4 with 4 offensive rebounds, and, it's like, well, that's kind of what you expect from Marco now. You take it for granted a little bit, but he's really comes in and always makes smart basketball decisions and good basketball plays. The other one I thought at North Park that really gave us a spark was freshman Mason Funk. Mason came in when we were kind of struggling and gave us a lot of energy also. And I thought played a terrific game.
Yeah, and anytime you can sit there and hold a CCW opponent to 33% from the field, the nice thing is you don't have to have your best shooting night to show up and win. And as I think it's Bob Spears, defense travels. The line you love to see.
Are you courting Q here?
I'm guessing that Q might have already turned this off when he turned it on and saw the Cubs Santa hat. So I'm not assuming that he's even watching at this point. But if he is, little shout out there. But talking about that defense on the road on Saturday, 66-43 victory up at North Central. 6 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds for Luke. At 11 from Wilmson, 10 and 5 from Marco Anderson again. But once again, the theme just suffocating defense. And that's when you talk about a night where the Titans shot 3 for 21 from long range. and really kept the Cardinals at arm's length throughout most of the game. Despite that, and got within 4 in the early part of the second half, but able to play most of that second half with, I wouldn't say a comfortable lead, might be stretching it, but feeling like that you're in control of the game.
Yeah.
And when you can, hold the Cardinals to 31% in their building, 4 for 22 from distance, it's that defense that's, as you can say, consistent in every night.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll let Luke talk about the defense, but I thought Luke had a great game. He hit 7 assists, no turnovers. You don't see that stat line very often. I thought he really controlled the action and felt like our whole team did. But going back to our defense, and Luke has done this since he arrived on campus, like our point guard set the tone for the defense behind them. And I think Luke does that as well as anybody. He's always locked in on that end. And he and Jackson Nego, we want to put pressure on that point guard, bringing it up every possession, that they don't just get to walk the ball down. He did another terrific job of that. But I'll let Luke talk a little bit about our defensive mindset and how we're doing there.
Yeah, I just thought we were super locked in defensively against North Central. We had each other's backs, even if we made a mistake, we were covering everything up. And our defense is just really coming. It's definitely the best in the CCIW, and that's going to be what wins us games. So, yeah.
You notice it's getting better. First time he said one of the best, now he went to the best. It's going to be one of the by the end of this interview, it's going to be the best in the nation. I like it.
Stats on it. Sorry.
But here's the thing: Luke has always prided himself. It's one of the things when we recruited him out of high school, we loved his defensive intensity and how hard he played, how he valued that side of the ball, and it's contagious. I think you have a guy out there that values it. Everybody's going to value it, and we really have a team that all is bought in to defense, our schemes. Luke hit on something that we're working very hard on is in-game communication and having each other's backs, where a lot of times if a defense breaks down, if you're not playing team defense, it's a bucket. But can you have your teammates cover your back when you make a mistake? And I thought really at North Central is probably the best we've done. We had guys flying around in passing lanes, covering each other's mistakes up. It was really exciting to see.
Yeah, and talk about going from road trip up in Naperville to a much longer road trip coming up here at the end of the week. Kingsman Classic early next week, Monday, December 18th against Cal Lutheran. That'll be a 2 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Central time tip. And then the following day, Tuesday in the evening against Redlands, 7 p.m. Central. You guys are flying out Friday, is that correct?
Yeah, guys will finish their final exams early afternoon, and then we jump on the bus to head up to O'Hare. So we'll get in pretty late on Friday, but we'll have 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, to practice out there, get our feet on the ground. We're going to do some cool things, and then game time then on Monday, Tuesday against 2 really good teams, 2 NCAA tournament caliber teams. So we're going to have to play well out there.
What are the plans for the rest of the time aside from game time and practice time out in Cali?
I think we're going to go see Rodeo Drive and Hollywood Boulevard, and then kind of just drive around a little bit.
We're cruising. What is it? Is it Route 1? What is that on the right on the strip? We're going to put the Beach Boys on and cruise a little bit, and I believe we're going to go to a Clippers game, which is always a big highlight. And these trips are great because one of the great things, or feel very fortunate, is coaching guys like Luke and the guys on the team. They handle themselves so well on the road, and they're really a fun group. So should be a terrific trip.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be fun I know for some of our alums certainly to be able to tune into an early game on Monday, and then you've got a late game on Tuesday once again, and some nice winter break viewing for all of you who want to pull up the live streams. Check the links at iwsports.com as always. So Luke, we're finally, and I don't want to say, in that last semester mode, but we're approaching the end of what has been a long and outstanding basketball and academic career here at Illinois Wesleyan. Any thoughts on the scary question of what you might be doing in the future after this?
Yeah, it's been a long 5 years. I can't believe it's already here. Like the last semester's coming up. It kind of makes me sad. Only got 20 games or not even
guaranteed.
Yeah, but I'm majoring in kinesiology and allied health and a minor in psychology, and I'm planning on doing PA school at some point, but I still need to get like patient contact hours and stuff. So once I graduate, probably just get a job, work for a little bit, probably a year or two. I might move up to the city with Grant Hardy and some of the guys, but
We might want to talk about that, Luke.
you never know. I don't know. I might stay here, but I've been here my whole life, so except the 1 year stint. But yeah. But beside from that, see where everything takes me.
I had a certain teammate of yours who got into about the 2-minute spiel, the realization that work life is a little bit different than college life and basketball.
Brian seemed
life
a little
was.
shook there, didn't he? There for a few minutes.
Little bit. I think he'll come out of it, but yeah.
Well, I think one of the great things, one of my goals is I had such a terrific experience during my time here at Illinois Wesleyan as a student athlete, and our goal as a staff is to give our guys that similar experience. And so I love to hear how that they've enjoyed their time here at Illinois Wesleyan. They've just like Luke, tremendous student, has done great in the classroom, excelled on the court as well. It's a great thing about Division III, right, is that you don't have to kind of pick and choose. You can excel in all areas of your life, and Luke has done that. And so, yeah, it's you embrace this last semester because, the real world's waiting for you. But super proud of Luke and all our guys in terms of their academics, which this is finals week. So this is really a pressure-packed week for everybody. But then when you're trying to also balance, keeping – I think the last 3 games we're really building as a team, getting better. You don't want to lose that momentum. So it's a kind of a balancing act right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, good luck out in California. And then the one other game for those of you tuning in over the next few weeks to watch Titan basketball over break. One other game before January is that December 30th ball game up at Stevens Point. So once again, for those of you who want to watch the Titans play out in California, it's a 4 p.m. Central Time tip against Cal Lutheran on Monday. That is Monday the 18th. Tuesday, 7 o'clock against Redlands on December 19th. Good luck, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with Brian Ehresman and Caite Knutson.
Berg drives one in the air to center field. This is down for a base hit. The Titans are going to win the ball game. Ethan Berg walks it off, and the Titans storm all the way back with 9 runs in their last 2 innings. They win it tonight, 13-12.
Welcome back inside the podcast studio. We are joined for our second segment by women's basketball assistant coach Brian Ehresman and senior Caite Knutson. Welcome. Good to have you guys with us. Brian for the first time in about a month and Caite for the first time, period. First off, want to flash back to Wednesday. First CCW road game up at Wheaton, 74-49 victory in which maybe you didn't get off to the greatest start in the first 5 minutes, trailed 14-7, and then it was pretty much all Titans the rest of the way. 19-3 run over those next 8 minutes. Outscored the Thunder by 10 in the second quarter, by 11 in the third quarter, and pretty much a resounding and emphatic victory in what's traditionally has always been one of the biggest games and biggest road trips of the year for the Titans. How'd you feel coming off that Wednesday night win?
Yeah, I mean, I felt really good about it. Wheaton is a good team, and I didn't feel like, anytime you go on the road in the CCIW, you're going to expect a tough game. You're going to expect a challenge. But again, we answered that bell. We got down, like you said, 14-7 in the first 5 minutes. They made a couple threes. They ended up only making one more three the rest of the game. I thought our gap defense was good, kept them out of the lane. We kept them off the boards for the most part. And again, we hit some shots, which also helps. But it was kind of a gradual, build the lead, maintain the lead, and that was the key because we had built a lot of leads so far, but we were able to maintain that one, didn't lose any ground as time went on. And obviously our press forced them into a lot of turnovers. I believe their point guard had 10 turnovers. So we put the heat on her, not just her, on their whole team, to speed them up and make them uncomfortable. So I thought it was a great overall team win.
I agree.
Yeah, 30 points off turnovers is, as you said, when you're scoring 74 and, 30 off turnovers, 19-2 on the fast break, in particular in favor of the Titans. 7 points, 2 steals for Caite in that one, 6 steals, 6 assists for Sawyer. Kate Palmer with another big game, 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 4 for 8 from distance. And then Mallory Powers, 16 and 7 rebounds. So a nice, once again, it has been the theme of the last couple of weeks, a nice team effort trying to fill in for some of the scoring left behind by Lauren and Ava. And then Saturday, we talk about getting out to a big lead and holding it. That one perhaps got a little more interesting than we were hoping. Led 41-26 the half up at North Central before the Cardinals came back and outscored the Titans 20-9 in the fourth quarter. Caite with a big overtime, in particular, scoring the first 6 of the 8 points that Titans had in the extra period. Ended up coming away with a hard-fought 68-61 win. Can you take us through kind of, the Cardinals certainly an improved team, and you've seen a lot of fight from them in the first month of the season, but not something that you're expecting necessarily a 20-9 fourth quarter in particular, and seeing that rally. And can you take us kind of through the mindset on the bench from a team that has played a lot of tight games and has very much been in never quit mode, having somebody come back on you instead of the opposite?
You want to take this or do you want me to?
You got it. I think that's
okay.
You.
Yeah, no. I think, again, we talked about we had a 15-point lead, and what I always try to say, one of my last things before I say my part to the team is we got to get this to 21 and not let them get it to 9 in the first few minutes, because that mentality, 3 baskets our way, is a huge gap mentally, and for them to believe that they can come back goes a lot less when they experience a lot of the same from the first half early in the second half, if that makes sense. So, and it went the other way. They scored the first, I believe, 8 points of the third quarter, so they cut it to 7 very early on, and then that's, you're in for a game at that point. They're back in it. They're feeling confident. They're tight. And I didn't think our half-court defense was bad. Our press, they adjusted their press break and did a nice job with that. And our half-court defense wasn't terrible. They rebounded the ball well. But our offense just didn't get going. We didn't have a transition game. We got a little bit stagnant. And we talked about our spacing this morning, how all of our gaps were closed. We were bringing our defender into people who are maybe trying to take advantage of a mismatch. But again, we learned, we got through a game experience on the winning end, which a lot of teams, that might happen to them. They're spiraling and they come out on the opposite end. So we don't want it to feel like a loss even when you win, because that's a very spoiled mentality. We obviously know that we had things that we can improve upon, and while we would have preferred not to play the 5 extra minutes, we won the game and we can use some of that experience. Caite was excellent in overtime, in finishing and really taking advantage of her mismatch. And we talk to her all the time, and she's in a little bit of a position-wise tough for her. She has to be the 5 for us when naturally she's probably not a 5. So there's pros and cons to that. Sometimes she's a little bit in between inside and outside, but also when there's 5s on her that are big, she's much more athletic. She's quicker. She can get by them. So sometimes she's more of a back-to-the-basket player if she feels like she has a mismatch, kind of like on Saturday. Against Carol, when they had the 6'4" girl on her, we really wanted to pull her out. But that's the nice thing about Caite's game, is she is versatile and she can do both. At times it can be frustrating trying to figure out which one is maybe better in that moment. I don't want to speak for her, but I think I know her pretty well at this point. But she did an excellent job. And so really proud of her for helping us close that game, and really proud of our whole team for facing that adversity. And then responding when we could have folded. And that feeling of, oh boy, they're coming. They have all the momentum. They have everything going their way, but we handled that. So I was proud of that, even if we did lose the 15-point lead.
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
I think you covered most of it, but I think just stressing the very beginning of the game, the first 3 minutes, I've always been coached that the first 3 minutes of the first quarter and the first 3 minutes of the third quarter set the tone for the game. And I think they got off to a start in the first quarter. They had the momentum, and then same thing in the third, like you just said. So I just think if we lock into, these are very important minutes right here. After that, we can just do our thing, but like we really, really got to lock in. I think making an emphasis on that could help a little bit.
Yeah, and you have the first 3 minutes of the first half. You have the first 3 minutes of the second half. You also have the first 3 minutes of overtime. And I think if nothing else, Titans made a statement right there.
Good point. That's true.
But you had a situation there at the end of the game where, it was 60-60, I believe, at that point, and the Cardinals had a chance to win it on a last-second shot. And I'm trying to remember, I was watching the stream at that point, and I don't believe they even got a shot off.
No, so I believe they had the ball with about 36 seconds left. They ran a simple ball screen to try to get a switch. Sawyer got switched onto their post player. We had good help on that, so they did try to force it in, and we got a steal. And we ended up having a baseline out-of-bounds play that we did not get. We tried to throw it up and tip. We didn't get it. But, again, good defense for us down the stretch to hold.
Yeah, and really, at that point, thinking back to those last couple of plays, like they had a real possession. We had you got to throw it up and hope for the best with a couple seconds to go type of deal.
Yep.
And just I think getting that stop was huge in terms of keeping some momentum on your side heading into the extra period. But when you talk about the team defense that we were talking about last week with Maya and with Caite, just a few days ago in here, I think you saw that again so much in the last week, holding Wheaton to 49, holding what was a very hot shooting Cardinals team down the stretch still to 60 despite a big fourth quarter. So much of that comes back to the team aspect of filling in for some missing minutes due to injuries, and when you have Sawyer White on the floor for 30 plus minutes now, and it's funny when you look at like baseball, you don't necessarily have the outfielders with the strongest, most accurate arms. They don't always lead the league in outfield assists because people stop running on them. Mm-hmm. When do we get to the point that people are just going to stop passing to whoever Sawyer's guarding?
It's true.
Yeah,
good point.
She anticipates very well off the ball. Obviously, soccer is just the quick twitch muscles that you use in both sports, and she, again, something that you can't really teach. Like it's not like we watch film and say, hey, when they start to dribble this way, you really got to try to get in that passing lane. She just does that naturally.
Yeah, she had 6 points, 7 steals, and 5 rebounds. Caite, 13 points and 6 rebounds on 6 for 9 shooting, including those big 6 points at the beginning of overtime. And then Mallory Powers with the big day tied her career high with 20, 10 rebounds and 6 steals as well.
20.
That is what I am told from the beautiful article written by Caite and her staff.
It has to be true.
IWsports.com. So I will absolutely take that as gospel.
Yeah. Same. I just didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. So, Caite and Brian, I think in the spirit of Christmas and Grinchiness, we need to get into the story of the potentially stolen Fairlife chocolate milks from the locker room.
Yes. Big deal. Mm-hmm. Big deal. So, Fairlife, don't know if anyone... I still have not tried one, by the way.
This is not a paid product placement. It is simply what Caite walked in here drinking, and now I'm hungry.
So we have our storage area, our cage, we call it, in between the gyms, and only a few people have a key to this spot. So Delaney had... Our coach, our assistant coach Delaney, had restocked the cage with Fairlife and Gatorade and water, and she comes back and says, somebody got in there. The package was like ripped open from the top, and like people took a few. So we're trying to figure out like who was it? Was it the pickleball crew in the morning did get accused, and I said I was there. No one took any.
There you go.
And so we're still trying to figure it out. We blamed several people. We're not going to put their names on this podcast.
Caite Gonzalez was one, I believe.
I go into Caite Gonzalez's office. I see 4 Fairlife perfectly placed. It's like they were plucked right out of our case. And I, just not trying to be accusative. I don't know what the word is.
It's definitely accusative.
Accusative of Caite.
Never heard either.
Where did you get those Fairlife? Where did you get those? And she looked at me like all defensive, like we buy them from Map Lake or whatever. So then we're trying to figure out, like, okay, I just didn't want to make sure that somebody, we're just trying to account for the lost ones, basically. In the meantime, Mike has already, gone through the process of changing locks because we have the Fairlife thief. Come to find out, Madison, our manager, had just been a very good staff member and took them out and put them in the fridge to refrigerate them. So all is well. We have our Fairlife. I don't think we have the right key maybe now because if the key select changed. But again, no thief. We're good to go.
We love Madison.
There you go.
Shout out, Mads.
It was an inside job all along. My favorite part of this is how the keys or the locks are now changed on your cage for what turned out to be absolutely no reason.
It's like changing your password though.
So.
Why do they make us do that every 6 months? You know, it's like the same thing. Change your locks. Change your password.
You do the trick where you just like add a exclamation point or change a number on the end.
Mine currently has 2.
I just
We'll see. See if it gets to 3.
Oh, I just add another number of the same number that I use. So then I count in my head like, got it.
And what number is that, Brian?
I'm not.
Do tell.
You know, if you want to find out my IW password, come see me after. It's fine.
This has been a security test sponsored by KnowBe4, as are all the frequent emails that we get through the university, and you have passed. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So it's turning our attention ahead to this upcoming week. Couple days off of practice now coming up after you've got a workout in this morning, and then be back on the court Thursday and Friday in preparation for another road trip up to the Chicago area, this time University of Chicago on Saturday at 2. Always one of the highly anticipated non-conference games of the year, certainly, frequently in this week or so leading into winter break. How are we preparing for the Maroons?
So I started watching film. We probably won't do things in practice yet until about Thursday, Friday, to specifically prepare for them. But again, a very good opponent. Our strength of schedule is very tough, and this is just adds to that. I believe they're ranked in the top 11 or 12 in both polls, WBCA and D3 hoops. They have some very talented players. They have great guard play that look to dribble drive. They're very aggressive in trying to score. And I think they play similar to us in a way of the style of player that they have and then the style of pace of play that they want to do. So going to be a really fun game, I think, but just a great test to go before Christmas.
Yeah.
I feel like we always rise to the occasion and play better against better competition. So I'm fully confident in our people. And just like against Carol when we shot down, I don't know how to say her last name, I'm sorry, but Rangel, I don't know. But we held her and we stepped up to the plate. So I don't know, I'm just really excited.
You've never been in a position where people don't know how to say your last name either. So.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's so easy. Yeah, Knutson, Knutson. It's fine.
Do you have any particular, I can tell, yeah. Any particular all-time favorite mispronunciations? Or?
What's the one? I think it was like Knutson, and I was like, honestly, that was pretty close. But it was my
Adding
favorite.
a syllable.
Yeah, it was just like, you didn't have to do all that, but it's all right.
How do we turn a 7-letter word into a 6-syllable word?
Yeah. I was like, oh, you're creative.
I like it.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
Honestly, might change it.
Now that you've said that, you're getting that treatment in January, just so you know, on some starting lineup somewhere.
Knutson. I can hear it.
As long as Tommy doesn't do it at the home game.
Oh gosh.
The problem is now I'm going to want to do it, and I'm going to forget between now and the middle of January. I'll be thinking of it wrong so many times that it's just going to come out beautiful. So, Caite, I want to kind of go back to, I think a couple years ago, your process, obviously, looking at school is a little bit different in that you came to Illinois Wesleyan as a transfer after playing 2 years. What did that process look like for you as you were kind of searching out a new place to play, and how did we end up here?
Oh, boy. I haven't thought about that in a while. Thank you for bringing this up. Well, obviously I'd already done 2 years at another school that wasn't a JUCO, so I was planning to stay 4 years. But I really just wanted to love basketball again. I felt like it was a job, and I felt like it just wasn't fun anymore. So I did contemplate not playing, but then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to put my name in the transfer portal, see what happens. And I think I got contacted by Wesleyan because, so it was Edwardsville, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Edwardsville High School's coach played, Lori Blade, I think is her name. She played with Maya Smith. So they were teammates, and she played at SIUE as well. So yeah, it's just really cool how all that clicked together. Lori Blade I have respect for her, and she had a lot of respect for me as well. So we have a really good relationship. But yeah, I just remember that first call with Coach Smith. She just made me feel really wanted, and I was very excited from that first call to come and visit here. So I think how many visits did I go on? I brought my parents, I brought my grandparents, and I think I brought my best friend. So 3. So I was completely sure after the first time.
One time I didn't even know that you were coming. I think that had been set up with like.
Yeah, I think I just showed up.
But I was excited.
I can do it. Yeah. But yeah, it was just, I knew from the first time that I was convinced. I just needed to convince the people that around me that I love. So, because I know that it's such a small community feel, and I needed them to support me too. So, and I haven't looked back. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, it has been the most amazing experience here. I will help any recruit that is here. I will tell them, because I'm not lying. They can ask, and I will tell them. It's been such a great time here.
I was going to say, it's worked out pretty well both on the court and off the court. I think
very
we can
much.
say for all parties, yes.
Oh, very much so. Yes.
So for those, out there watching or listening to this that mostly see you on the floor at games, give us a little bit of insight into, favorite activities, favorite off-the-court things to do here in Bloomington or on campus.
Yeah. My family likes to say that I have a different personality on the court, so I'm glad that I have this opportunity to actually not be so game mode, like game face and mean and all that stuff. So
But that's not how you are 24/7.
Oh, no.
Really? Huh, shocking.
I'm kind of the very opposite, actually. What am I involved in? I'm involved in a lot of Christian things. I actually, I found Jesus last year whenever I came to school, and that has just been amazing. Life is just so much better. I'm involved in things like Encounter. That's a campus ministry at ISU. We just go there, and it's like hundreds of college students that get together and just worship, and it's amazing. I'm in FCA, and that's awesome. We have a Bible study within our team that we are so excited about. I think we have 6 people right now, and that is just way more than I ever wanted, so that's just amazing. I think that's really my passion right now, besides basketball. Those are my 2 priorities right now, and of course school. I'll put that in there too. Student athlete, yes. In the middle of finals week, goodness, I forgot. But yeah, so very much a, how do you put that? I'm very involved in all of that stuff. I don't know if I have any really other hobbies besides that, but I feel like those are good. Those are good to start with.
You work for Tony, right?
I work for Tony in the equipment room. He puts me to work. He takes good care of us.
There you go.
I work with Sawyer and Sarah, so we get good bonding time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So we'll give you a second, too, to make a little plug for the discount cards as well that you've been selling for entrepreneurship.
I have one of them.
And Brian Ehresman comes with the props.
Yep.
Wow.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness.
We all did our part on the props accidentally. I've got the Christmas cheer. You've got the Fairlife chocolate milk, and Brian's got the important stuff here.
How
Saint
close
Jude.
is it? Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're getting in there. Okay. So basically, another thing about me is that whenever I transferred here, I was a biology and a secondary ed major. I quickly realized that biology is very hard here. Whoa! Nobody told me that. So that switched after the first semester, and I realized that I'm really passionate about business and specifically entrepreneurship. I am very much into like nonprofit work, stuff like that, and it just showed up that we are going to Saint Jude. I don't know the exact day, but I know it's after Christmas.
Yep, the 27th.
27th, yes. We'll be going there and touring the research center. So for my entrepreneurship major, I have to take a starting a business class, and that is basically, I think we have 9 groups right now, and we each get $900 to start our own business, and we get the guidance of, if you guys know who Mark Toludo is, amazing guy, amazing, successful entrepreneurship guy, entrepreneur, there we go.
There you go.
It was close.
That's much better than whatever word Brian tried
It's
to make
large
up earlier.
words.
So.
They're both really hard words.
Okay.
But yeah, so he's been a great help, resources. It's just been a really good class to be in. But anyways, I'll get to my idea. I, in this class, have created a discount card. They're $20, 15 for college students, and they're basically, you guys probably know what a discount card is, but you get to reoccurringly use all of these discounts until November 15th of 2024. It says on the bottom of the card. But places like Great Clips, Kobe, it's a hibachi place that the team loves. We go there often. Yoga Lab, Tony's Tacos, $1 off tickets to Wesleyan Games, Brass Pig, Blono Pizza, Tobin's, Empire Coffee, and Nom Nom Noodle. So I went around to local businesses, and they were amazing and offered discounts for you guys, so that you could not only donate to Saint Jude, but you could also get something and support local businesses. So it's just been a really good trade-off. How much have we earned so far? I think I've sold 130 cards, which is
Nice.
amazing.
Awesome.
And to be honest, whenever coach was like, oh, you have an idea to whatever support St. Jude, we can do like $500. And I think right now we're at $2,700.
Sweet.
So we have exceeded any bar that was set. So anything from now on until December 27th is just going to only help. So I just really appreciate the time for you to, or the time you've given me to talk about it. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
anything that helps, it's
And
great.
those are still on sale with Mindy McCluskey in the athletic office. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
And or by reaching out to you directly?
Yes, yeah. And we take cash or Venmo. If you know how to spell my name, I know it's kind of hard. We probably should have changed that. But my Venmo is at Caite Knutson, if we want to reach out that way too. But
I think it'll be a good spelling lesson for all of your fans out there to make sure that they can get it right. Yeah.
it's hard sometimes. It's
You
hard.
gotta put the plug in for the Great Clips one. It's a
right.
free haircut.
Oh,
so like
keep going.
the price that you pay for the card already,
It's covered,
that's
yeah.
covered with the Great Clips one. So
I
at least that
think-
was for me. I go to Great Clips. so
Yeah.
Great
Oh,
Clips.
and I forgot about the free yoga class at
Yeah.
Yoga Lab.
Yep.
I think those are the two things where it's like you stamp it once you've used it. So the free haircut, free yoga class, and then all the other recurring ones.
And shout out to Sandy and the crew at StarNet as well
Yes.
for donating the cards themselves and printing them so that literally, every cent of the $15 or $20 goes directly to St. Jude.
And actually, I'm going to do a shout out because, man, Mike Wagner has been, I know everybody knows this, and everybody's like, Mike Wagner is such a great guy. And coming onto campus, I'm like, yeah, he looks like a great guy. Let me go talk to him. He's cool. And he has been just my group for this, him and Mindy McCluskey. They have just supported me beyond anything I could have ever thought. So it has just been amazing. Great people, and I've figured that out for myself. That was cool.
Glad you just have to look from afar and go, oh, he looks cool.
They look
Yeah.
pretty nice. Yeah, no, it's been so great. Yes.
See, this is why we do these shows, so that people just don't have to watch you on the court and go, oh, she looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm
Now
sure
they
that's what
can
they're thinking
know
about
you.
Brian all the time. Yeah.
Nice
Yeah,
to meet
they-
you guys. Good to meet you.
Mixed reviews on Brian, but
Oh goodness.
Now we've got Brian talk about himself in third person. I
Oh,
think we're really set. Is that the signal that it's time to wrap up?
that's
I
just
think?
the signal that I can't think about some of my past actions on the bench. But
Maybe for a segment towards the end of basketball season, we will just have Katie and Taya and Meredith and Kelly go through and dig up some old footage of Brian storming around on the bench. Would that be that'd be ideal?
There's never anything too bad. I mean, I don't think I show frustration too bad. So
I think a couple times you said you even went back and you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
yeah,
Inside,
I
he was,
rewatched
like,
myself
throwing
on
stuff.
film. Like, wow, I was really mad in this moment, and then I look back and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I look like I'm taking a nap. But
Heated.
Just a very heated nap. That's all.
yes,
So when you talk about going down to St. Jude, that'll be on the one other road game of winter break. For those of you who have not gone and checked the schedule recently, we talked about the Chicago game. That'll be December 29th is the second game before we return to campus down at Hendricks in Conway, Arkansas. So you can tune in for both of those. Be live streamed as always. Check for the links on iwsports.com. And once again, it is a 2 p.m. tip-off this Saturday, December 16th, up at the University of Chicago. Both of you, good luck this weekend. Good luck with finals, Katie, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
thanks, Tommy.